Most authors love their work. They want you to read it. They want to talk about it. They defend it, promote it, explain it. Aleister Crowley spent years trying not to publish the Book of the Law. He received it in April 1904. He did not publish it until 1909, and even then he wrote, in his own commentary, that there were passages he did not understand, lines that disturbed him, verses he believed were beyond his ability to interpret. He was the man who transcribed it. He was a trained occultist with decades of study behind him, and the book he produced frightened him. Tonight we are going to read the parts he didn't want you to see. Section 1. The structure. The Book of the Law is divided into 3 chapters. Each chapter is spoken by a different entity. Chapter 1 is the voice of Nui, the Egyptian goddess of the night sky, the infinite. Her chapter is expansive, almost seductive. It speaks of stars and space and the nature of existence. It contains the line that became the foundation of the entire Thelemic system. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. That line is often quoted. It is almost always misunderstood. Crowley spent years clarifying that it does not mean do whatever you want. It means find your true will, the deepest purpose of your existence, and follow it without compromise. The distinction matters. The misreading spread anyway. Chapter 2 is the voice of Hadit, the complement to Nui, the infinitely small point at the center of everything. His chapter is more personal, more interior. It speaks of the relationship between the individual and the infinite. Chapter 3 is the voice of Rahu Kuit, the hawk-headed solar deity, the god of force and fire. Chapter 3 is the one that disturbed Crowley. Section 2. The disturbing passages. Rahu Kuit does not speak in the expansive philosophical register of the first 2 chapters. His voice is different, harder, more direct, and in places genuinely unsettling. Chapter 3, verse 7. I will give you a war engine. With it they shall smite the peoples, and none shall stand before you. Chapter 3, verse 12. Sacrifice cattle, little and big, after a child. Chapter 3, verse 18. Mercy let be off. Damn them who pity. Kill and torture. Spare not. Be upon them. These are not metaphors that Crowley comfortably explained away. He tried. His commentaries on these passages run to significant length and wrestle with what they actually mean. He proposed symbolic interpretations, ritual interpretations, historical context. None of them fully resolve what is on the page. Verse 12 in particular, the instruction about sacrifice after a child, generated controversy that followed Crowley for the rest of his life. His enemies used it as evidence that he practiced child sacrifice. He denied it. His explanation was that the child referred to the ego, that the sacrifice was symbolic, that the entire passage operated on an initiatory level rather than a literal one. Whether you accept that explanation depends on how much trust you extend to the man making it. Section 3. The verse Crowley said he could not decode. Chapter 3, verse 47. This is the passage Crowley was most honest about not understanding. The verse contains a cipher, a series of letters and numbers that Crowley believed encoded a specific message or instruction. He attempted to decode it multiple times across different periods of his life and produced different results each time. His final commentary essentially admits defeat. He believed the verse contained something important. He did not know what it was. He wrote that he expected someone, some future initiate or mathematician or scholar, to eventually crack it. It has not been definitively cracked. Thelemic scholars have proposed solutions. None have achieved consensus. The man who wrote the book could not read part of his own book. That is either evidence that he genuinely received it from somewhere outside himself, or it is evidence of something else entirely. You will have to decide which explanation you find more uncomfortable. Section 4. Chapter 3, verse 60. The final passage worth examining is verse 60. It is the verse that explains everything and answers nothing. My number is 11, as all their numbers who are of us. The five-pointed star, with a circle in the middle, and the circle is red. This verse has generated more commentary than almost any other single line in the text. The number 11. The pentagram. The red circle at the center. Crowley called 11 the number of magic itself, the number that transgresses the perfect 10, that breaks the established order. Every serious student of Thelema has an interpretation of this verse. They do not agree with each other. What they agree on is that the verse is not decorative. It is doing something. What it is doing remains contested. The Book of the Law is 220 verses. Crowley said it took 3 hours across 3 days to receive. That works out to roughly one verse every 2.5 minutes. Whatever the source was, it was not slow. Tomorrow is Strange but True Wednesday, and for Crowley Week, we are covering the Abbey of Thelema in Sicily. The actual physical location where Crowley tried to build a working Thelemic community in the 1920s. What happened inside that building was strange enough that Mussolini eventually had Crowley expelled from Italy. We will talk about what specifically Mussolini's government said happened there, and whether the records support it.